Hey guys, SmithCity here for SmithCity product reviews. I've just finished with the Pineapple Imperial Sour from Hope Estate, and I'm going straight in back to back with a beer from Batch Brewing Company. It is a coffee and currant dark sour ale, so another sour ale. So I'll be interested to see how my palate has already adjusted to the sourness, whether I experience the same start off sourness or if my palate's already adjusted to the sour element from another beer. Um, the current state of infusion batch coffee and current dark sour ale 6.4%, 375 ml, and 1.9 standard drinks. So I'm on their website where Chris and Andrew, perhaps you live around the corner, or our butcher, baker, barista, or just want to try a good beer, because these small batches are handcrafted especially for you, the people in our neighbourhood. So welcome and keep sharing the good times and stories while enjoying good beer. That's on www.batchbrewingco.com.au. They've got a few things from Marrickville, Petersham. They've got events, stock list, batches, shop online, local delivery, playlists, book now, and social. So if I click on batches, maybe be able to have a look at some different things they do. Okay, so they must just produce small batches of beers and then they just move on to sort of a next style of things. Because so the first one on here is number 269. So it's a small batch creme brulee pastry stout. Number 268 choc orange porter. Number 267 small batch wattle nut brown ale. So not too sure if you can see that, but they're massive list of small batches. So I guess that just is in the name. They just do a small batch of particular beer, and then they brew other stuff, which is quite interesting. If they hit the nail on the head with a few of these small batches, I'll be interested to see if they either keep releasing them or whether they're just specialty. Because yeah, like if you find a good one and then they don't make them anymore, that'd be kind of sad. But okay, that's enough diddle daddling. We'll get into a glass and we'll see what we've got. So no complete spray fizz like the last one I did. Get into a glass. Okay, very different colour to the last one. Red mahogany type colour. Very interesting colour indeed. Two finger head, kind of like the other one I just reviewed, where like big bubbles in the head. It'll slowly go down. I'm not too sure if you can see that on camera. You might be able to see it. Tiny little pinprick bubbles. We'll get the aroma. So we're looking for coffee and currant. Wow. So yeah, you do get that element of coffee from the roasted malt. A very slight currant taste, aroma. So getting a small sweetness and the currant aroma, but predominantly more coffee, I think. All right, that's enough talking. The head's gone down completely. Now, cheers, guys. Okay. Still is sour, but it's not as sour as the other one. And I think that's just because I've just gone back-to-back sours. So I think it's just my palate's just adjusted a little bit. What a very interesting, intriguing beer. Okay, so from the get-go with his beer is very interesting. So the front palate, you instantly get that coffeeness. Okay, instantly get that coffeeness, and then mid palate, there's a slight sweetness coming through, and then the back finish is just currant. I have had a lot of beers that have got like coffee stouts and porters and stouts and those types of things where you get the roasted malt and like there's no sort of separation of that. There's no separation of that flavor. Like that's just the flavor it's peddling. But this is weird. So like it starts off like just black coffee, like coffee beans, like the smell of coffee beans, and then it hits you, and then it just hits you with this surprise of like, here we are. Here's this yummy, sweet, juicy currant. That's odd. That's odd. Good odd, but it's odd. So with the previous one I did, that was, even though it was fizzy, it was very thin. It was like a very thin liquid. This has a little bit more texture to it. And when I mean texture, it's not like any clumps or anything in it, but like it's just a little bit thicker. So there's a bit of a thicker mouthfeel where it sort of lingers those currant flavors around the palate, which is really quite nice. Excuse me. Price point, can't remember what it was when I got it off on the website, but whatever I paid for it, when I clicked on it, I wasn't shocked or disappointed of how expensive it was, and for what it is, it beats that price point. Packaging. So you've got old mate on the can there, holding a coffee plunger. All right. You've also got the red part of that, sort of like maybe subtly pushing, sort of directing you to the currant flavor. And then you've got like all these small brewing type contraptions, basically pointing it out to be like a small batch type scenario. So we'll read the back of it. Originally brewed for Gabs, a sour driven by dark malt, currants, and coffee. Fruit-forward aroma, deep mahogany colour, and beautifully balanced acidity. Enjoy this one, as it'll be gone as fast as you can say, coffee in my beer. Keep cold, drink fresh, and from a glass we brew for you. Batch Brewing Company, 44 Sydenham Road, Marrickville, New South Wales. Their website's batchbrewingco.com.au. It's certified independent. Don't mind the packaging. I like the black and red. Obviously, I go for the Bombers, and they're playing in the background at the moment. Currently losing by 11 points to Richmond. Hopefully, in the next 9 minutes, we can get in front. But yeah, like it's not overly standoutish, but I don't mind that. Obviously, the black with the red, it pops out, but in terms of like anything sort of being striking on the can other than just the colour of the writing and the colour of the can, you sort of have to look a little bit deeper, but that's fine. Like if I looked at this and then went, oh, what's all this stuff in the background, I'd be sort of curious, which would probably make me look at the can even further and probably buy it. So packaging, they've done well, I think, anyway. All right, rating. No, sorry. Skipped. Drinkability. It is very easy drinking. I think with how sweet and currenty it is on the back end, like those current flavours, like for me personally, I don't think I could sit down and drink heaps of them. I could probably sit down and drink a few of them, but in terms of like buying a few and bringing them to a social gathering or a place where I was drinking a few, I don't think I could. But in terms of maybe drinking a couple on a night at home, more than easily be able to do that. So drinkability is sort of like 50-50. It's more sort of dependent on where you are and probably not heaps of them. But in terms of it just being easy to drink one or two of them, it is good for that. So which drinkability doesn't necessarily factor into my overall rating, because obviously if something is just so standoutish that it's fantastic and you can only drink one of them, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will never get a 10. If it's that good but you can only drink one of them, it'll still get a good rating. Okay, so I'm really, really intrigued with this company, and I probably will try to get some more stuff from them, because the fact that they probably just do small batches of different drinks is a very intriguing thing for me as a craft beer drinker. That is really, really enjoyable for me. Like just scrolling down, gingerbread pastry stout, Sublime Mango and Lime Sour Ale, Opaque IPA, small batch PHP Pilsner, batch Belgian wheat, rustic red station, Galaxy Sesh, Hop Galaxy IPA, Big Tex IPA. So heaps, island style coconut IPA, heaps and heaps and heaps. So this company is very intriguing. Just from a rating standpoint of just this beer alone, give it an 8.9. It's up there. It is really up there. When I saw the coffee element, I was worried that was probably going to be too much of it, and then coffee and sour, I don't necessarily think go together. But that actually is probably the good element in it, is that the coffee is actually really subtle and it's balanced. But for me, I just think the tartness of the current of it, like just the tartness of the current element of this drink, leads me to go Could only maybe drink 1 or 2. I'm more intrigued than I'm impressed. It still is a fantastic beer. 8.9 is a fantastic rating by no stretch of the imagination. It is a fantastic beer. I'm honestly not too sure what they could have done to maybe make it a bit better, but I don't know. Like I just think the coffee and the currant and the sour, I wouldn't say it clashes. It's just a bit different. But it's a bit different and it's a bit weird and a bit strange. But the fact that I've been able to rate it 8.9 says that they've done a good job with that. Because something that's so strange and weird and a little bit, I've not really heard of this before. That could go two ways. It could be really, really bad, really, 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 really bad, or it could be really, 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 really good, and it is really good. I just can't get it. I just can't get it an on or any higher. So please subscribe. I'll put this company's website on the description box, and yeah, have an enjoyable evening. Cheers, guys.